Community to me is legacy. Community specifically for Black people, I feel is forward movement. I believe that community is something that evolves, something that is nurtured, and something that sustains. I think a lot of times when I think about some of the communities that I've been in, the reason that they have not been able to sustain is because there is not enough reciprocity. I think that this level of thinking, being a part of community is just take. And over the years, I realized that community, for it to sustain, it has to be something where it is a give and a take. That doesn't mean I give you $5, you give me $5. But in terms of energy, in terms of support.
Community is interesting because I feel like there are some types of people that are taught how to build community and support community, and then there's others that don't. And then when they're introduced to the idea later, they don't really know how to interact with it. But I feel like, to me, community is like somewhere where you go to feel supported and support people. Like, you don't go into your community being like, I'm just here to be taken care of all the time. You know what I'm saying? But like, you also, I feel like I get excited to help people when I'm like surrounded by people that I know want my help and like know that they can fall back on me. Like, recently I've been doing like mentorship type stuff. Yeah, because like my school was like, do you want to? And I was like, I don't do anything else. Like, I don't have a sense of community at that school. So before I left, I was like, let's do a little something to like tie me down a little bit. And it was so nice and it was so lovely. And like, that's kind of what started me like going out to events and stuff. And it's just nice to be around people that are all trying to help you and are coming to you for help too. Like, it sounds a little selfish to be like, I like when people ask me for help. Yeah, I like when I have something to offer to people. Like, my experience being helped, I can now give that back to somebody.
Community means a journey of collective consciousness. That's just what really just popped out now. Community is love. Community is friendship. Community is accountability, holding people together. And community is just coming together. Community is one.
Ooh, community to me is a collective of people that all live in the same area and or share similar identities. So for me, I am Black, I'm a woman, I'm queer, and I feel as though I connect best in community with people who share those same identities. I'll just say community is so important. It's honestly one of the cornerstones of my life and something I really try to advocate for. So shout out to community, try to find your people and stay authentic to who you are. That's how you will find exactly who you're looking for. Mwah, that's it.
This is community. Just being on a stroll and like stumbling upon a bunch of people painting a beautiful mural and just jumping in on that and meeting people and like everything is just the energy is just so good right here.
Yes.
And I'm like, to me, this is a like visible representation of community and the importance of it and the joy it brings. Look, I'm smiling. I've been smiling this whole time. I painted like the smallest corner, but I'm like happy.
I agree. I think it's showing up.
Yeah.
Being there, witnessing, loving, talking to people that you see on the street, getting to know people. I think that's community. Showing up.
Yes.
Community means to me to be a part of a whole. It's to know that you make up one of an entire body of people and being your authentic self and see how that part of you resonates with the rest of everybody who's coming together to be one with you. That's community to me.
I think community is, for me, I think it's a lot of uplifting and just being able to empower people, having people to lean on, support, unconditional love, I feel like. Because it's what brings us all together and shit, so.
Community is the people that occupy a particular area coming together and sharing, working together, and like, especially just helping each other in times of need, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like community is just people just coming together and people who are not necessarily related in blood, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, just helping each other, contributing to each other.
Okay, for me, community is, in one word, preservation. I think there's not a lot of that happening now, and this was just, I don't know, it wasn't random, but like we thought it was a block party. But then my friend was like, "It's here," and I'm like, "Okay, what are we doing?" And then we're like, "We're painting," and I'm like, "What? What are we painting?" But it was just like you just jump into it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that for me is also what community is, right? Like acceptance, just vibing out,
and stepping in and stepping up.
Ah.
I love your word of preserving because I'm new to the community a year and a half ago, and the neighborhood is rapidly changing. And Aisha, who is the business owner across the street, Make Manifest, she recognized the changes and said, "Hey, let's also make sure the integrity of the neighborhood is maintained."
You know, I would say community means loving inconvenience, because when you are in a community, you're going to be inconvenienced sometimes in some way to show up, but it's all with love. It's who you love, who you're showing up for, what you're showing up for always is enveloped in love. So it is a loving inconvenience, even if there's times where you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to answer that phone, you don't want to take that hike up to the Bronx to see your girlfriend or to Jersey. But that love that you have deep down and just showing up for those that you love and the things that you love makes that inconvenience a little less inconvenient. So that's what I think about community.
Community is cultivation, building, and gathering of like-minded and aligned souls. O, open-mindedness, the opportunity to learn from others, expanding the mind and life experiences reflected by people from all walks of life. M, movement, it moves with you, it grows with you, it helps shape you from generation to generation. M, magnetic, the more authentic you are, the more you will attract. U, unity, leaning on one another, giving grace as you navigate life. I, imaginative, the creation of T, togetherness. When you are down, feeling like you may drown, together when you need a hug, together alongside the journey of all the versions of you that need love, together through the seasons of laughter, celebration, meditation, together as the darkness becomes light, and why you yourself is how community is reflected right in front of your eyes.
Community also is something that is very inward, that flourishes outward. It doesn't have to be something that's big and it's all of these things. From just my experience here, it's just really the little things that have been able to evolve into bigger and bigger things. But it's really the nurturing of the small things, nurturing myself, nurturing my home, nurturing this space has allowed you to like nurture the people that have done bigger things and contribute in bigger ways.
Absolutely. I think in my early 20s, I'm 30 now, but in my early 20s, yes, ma'am, I'm 30. I'll be 31 soon. I struggled with finding community because I didn't know where to look. I think at first, anytime you move somewhere new, I was new to Brooklyn back in 2017. I had no idea where to look. And so I fell into this cycle of kind of like dating and finding my community through dating. And then I realized after a few relationships, hey, like that's not permanency. You need friends, you need coworkers, you need neighbors that you say hello to and that you get coffee with. So for me, it was hard at first, but once I found my footing, I thought, okay, I got this. I have my community.
Okay, good question. When I first started hearing the question, half of that, have I ever felt like I was in a community? Immediately, I was going to say no, because I used to live in Yonkers prior to being here in Brooklyn for 6 years, and I felt I had no community. But that wasn't really the full truth, because the community is always within. It always starts within. You know, you can't really see a reflection of love, a reflection of joy and peace and harmony if that's not what you're already emitting within yourself. So you can put yourself in the community of Brooklyn, but you know, people can still be here in community and still feel alone. But yeah, community makes you not feel, you know, like you're by yourself.
I feel like when I was younger, and maybe in a little woo-woo astrology, I'm an Aquarius moon. Maybe that's where that Aquarian energy makes you feel like you're always outside the club when you're really the one that has the section and everybody's trying to get in it. But I think that I want to say yes, but when I really sit down, no. Like, if I want to say yes, I feel like when I first came to New York, I was like, I'm going to keep my head down. I'm going to finish my degree.
I ended up making more friends than I thought. I have so much more community. I found my people. I have people that look like me growing up in the South too, where you're from a predominantly white Hispanic community too. Yeah, like I like found people that are me here and look like me. Like all my girlfriends are black. All my girlfriends are black and beautiful. I'm creative. So it's like and it came when I least expected it. It wasn't sought out for. I think I enjoyed my autonomy living in New York too, where I could just get on the subway, the bus by myself and enjoy my own company. So it made all the community I have now curated so much more loving and special because it wasn't something I was seeking actively.
Yes, at times, yes, but I've always found community. Like it's been times where I guess it was like many different types of people, and I couldn't find people that were directly like myself, but I always ended up finding those people. You know what I'm saying? And like that's what I feel like community does. Like you gravitate towards it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was hard. I grew up in Alabama. It was majority white people. Being the odd one out and amongst my peers, felt invisible a lot of the time. So I also didn't really feel like I had a lot of people in my corner. And then my interest, like being in like fashion, more creative side of things, not really that popular in the South as well. So it took me a while to find like art community, people who enjoy like creatively the same things as me, the same TV shows, pop culture, movies and stuff like that.
Yes, I feel like in pursuit of looking for myself and who I am, it's very hard to find community because you recognize yourself in a lot of people, but for some reason it doesn't feel like this is where I should stay, this is where I should be. Until I found out that I am everybody, I am everything. And so my community is everybody, my community is everything. And that made it a lot less complicated, you know?
I think specifically for Black people, true community is an evolutionary tool for true advancement, for, like I said, for generational wealth, for legacy, and not generational wealth in this kind of way, but real, like, we're in Bedstuy, how can we hold down Bedstuy in a place that is going through community? I feel like in a space like this where it's so much gentrification and all of these things happening, to be able to reverse, to stymie, to stop and move forward in a way that is constructive, and you're able to preserve the heart of this kind of community, of this kind of neighborhood, this, to preserve what Bedstuy is in terms of it being this historic enclave of Black family, Black business, and all of that. This is a space where true community has to exist, in that being reciprocity, in that support, in that, you know what I'm saying, like spending with each other, but also knowing that it's not always about the money, but also knowing that you do have to have the money, you know what I'm saying? It is all of the things. It's the connections, it's the people, it's the knowing, it's the standing on business, it's the taking up space, you know, wherever you are.